Or see us, give us a thumbs up. We're still good. Okay, so I just want to make sure that everybody can hear us and see us. Before we get into Chef Trevino's, I'm doing it Italian, that's terrible.
It's fine.
It's fine. But we're at El Buda Latin Asian Restaurant, which is downtown, right off Church Street, right near the railroad tracks, historic Church Street. Do I need to keep looking? Am I keep talking? Do I need to get my hands down? Okay. Are we still good? I'm looking there. Okay, so we're going to direct. This is so awesome. I never get direction. So that's why we're all over the place, and it's a wild, wild west on my show. So thank you for being our first guest.
I like that.
You're a first. You're like a TED. It's the TED show. I'll have another virgin session. We can talk about that at another time. But Rick is behind the camera and he's working everything, and we appreciate that. So I've wanted to try your place for a while since you opened. Rick's been doing a fantastic job of promoting it, and my friends Rose Kemp and Orlando Montero tried it last week and started going on and on about it at a party. And I go, all right, this is it. I've got to have them on at the first show. We've got to launch it, because not only do you have amazing food, you have amazing drinks.
Yes.
So, that was a long intro, Chef, but well.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to have you on. All right, so what I always like to give the viewers is a background on you. We want to hear the story of you. Obviously, you were born, and we want to be to first grade before 30 minutes is up.
Yeah.
But give us a little background on you, and then get to the point where we want to know your why. How did you become a chef?
Well, the whole story of becoming a chef, I think everyone shares something very similar. They come from a cooking household, and in my house we cooked often. I grew up in California. Wonderful place to grow up in the San Francisco Bay Area. Lots of food, lots of great restaurants,
there.
Lots of great cocktail culture. Before cocktail culture was cocktail culture, San Francisco was just always moving forward with the drinks and all that.
Right.
Obviously, you got all the wine country and everything going over there. Bring those in.
Oh my God.
While I talk, you should
That
definitely.
looks amazing.
These are our pork dumplings.
Dumplings.
We make these in the house. We grind the pork. We grind the sweet plantains, or the amarillos or maduros here in Orlando.
Oh my God, it smells so good, you guys.
Truffles in Tobico. This is one of our signature dishes. I think
I might be drooling.
Hundreds of thousands have already been made and sold, and people love them. And
wow.
We're very fortunate. But it's one of our signatures. That's why I wanted to make sure you had this.
Oh, I'm literally going to try the food, people. No doubt in my mind. But I want Chef to continue his story. So you grew up in a cooking household, and you grew up in San Francisco, and you grew up around, which I didn't realize that San Francisco was such a craft cocktail, such a creative. I mean, it's creative anyway. The food there is amazing. They have a great food culture.
They've had bars that have been there what was the name of that bar? Harry Stanley?
Yeah, sure.
Like up on the Forever doing just cocktails and martinis and what have you. Yeah, America.
Well, that's the thing about, one of the reasons that I really wanted to focus on cocktails for the show, even though we're going to definitely talk about food, ready? Is because we really have Orlando's grown into a culture where there are true mixologists, which I used to laugh at that name, because that sounded like, okay, you're a bartender. That's an unfair statement. So if you've ever laughed like I did 2 years ago about that, a mixologist is somebody who really takes it's an art form, and a science too.
Definitely.
You have to have the right mixture. You have to use different kinds of alcohol that people might not have heard of before. And you're trying to create the perfect drink that's a different kind of drink, that's a signature drink. And you guys obviously do that here. I was here last night for a veterans event that was hosted here, and we got to try several drinks here. And it's amazing that your menu has that many different drinks. And of course, with a Latin Asian flair to it, you've got to really be super creative. You have a lot to work with.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what's exciting about the space. Not only are we doing exciting drinks and food, we're sort of creating an exciting venue,
right,
for people to do different things and to come in and enjoy hanging around, drinking at the bar, having a great meal, events. We throw parties every Wednesday where a lot of people come and they dance.
That's another thing Rose said, was the music was amazing.
Yeah.
And people were dancing and having a good time. And if you guys can visualize the space, it's literally right near the railroad tracks, near Ferg's, if you're familiar with downtown. And it's just got such a great feel to it. There's a lot of old Church Street markings in the back, especially in this space. It brings back a lot of memories because I grew up here. All right, so talk a little bit about Iron Chef before we dive into the cocktails, because you know people want to hear about that. And we were just talking about makeup and TV, because apparently I think I need to be dabbed right now because I'm sweating a little bit. But talk about Iron Chef. That's a big deal. Like,
well,
this is a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. And you know, honestly, it really has a lot to do with, you know, growing up in San Francisco, having a true love of food, true love of drinking. And then, you know, I decide that, you know, as all good cooks, I get around. I want to travel. And I end up in Puerto Rico. And I'd like to say, like, I was reborn in Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico, I spent 27 years of my life there.
Wow.
And I was a young cook, basically, when I arrived, and really built an incredible career. And that was because Puerto Rico has a real dining culture. It has just a super, just food-forward idea of what people want in front of them. Yeah, you can get a great plate of rice and beans,
right,
and carne frita and things like that are
I love
very
when you
basic.
say it the real way.
Yeah.
Instead of the American way, which I would butcher.
But it has a dining culture that wants exciting and new things. So we opened restaurants there. We opened a place called the Parrot Club in 1996. I was there to open the El Conquistador before that. The Parrot Club blew up. People wanted it.
Why do you think it blew up? Was it because the level of food and the level of drinks was just something, or was it something new? Why do you think it blew up?
Well, in Puerto Rico, dining had always been staunchly Euro, you know, like
right,
Espanol, the Hofbrau, you know,
right,
things like that, or the steakhouses, you know, and everything else was just a lunch place with rice and beans and criollo or home or whatever the case, you know, and you would enjoy those things. But dining was dominated by a very like Spaniard sort of, let's just call it a culinary vernacular, you know, you're just in there and it was
like
all paellas and all that. So it was all there. And what the Parrot Club did was say, we concentrated on making fancy cocktails, caipirinhas, mojitos, when those things were not really in play, and we did exciting food.
right.
And that place blew
A combination, which is what you brought here. Now let's talk a little bit. El Buda Latin Asian Restaurant. So it's a fusion restaurant. How did you land on Latin? I understand the Latin part, but how did you land on Latin and Asian
Well, you
together?
forget where I was born and raised, San Francisco.
Oh, that's true.
That is enough.
Amazing. That's true.
That is enough to influence an entire culinary
But how do you
career.
come? It's an interesting combination, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to bring it together like that. I mean, you hear of a lot of fusion places, but most of the time it's within the culture, like Asian fusion, for example, different Asian, Korean, Thai, that kind of stuff. But to bring Latin and Asian together is completely new and different. So, what were the challenges that you had to face trying to create a menu, or were there no challenges because there was so much food to choose from? And I'm told I need to dab, so where's my makeup person?
Yeah. I think I find very little challenges with it. I find that it's a combination that works very well together. Example, lo mein noodles, chicharrón de pollo, a classic, you know, with fancy garnishes.
What does that mean? Tell me, for the American in me.
Well, chicharrón de pollo is just chicharrón is like a deep fried pork skin. So even though this is chicken, it resembles a deep fried pork skin because of the temperature we fry it at, and we kind of coat it with a little bit of cornstarch before we fry it. And it's a chicken chicharrón, very popular in Puerto Rico as well, kind of roadside bar thing.
Love
you
that.
know? So it's something we kind of elevated and made exciting for our guests.
It
So
smells and looks delicious if you can't see it.
And the dumpling is a dumpling is a dumpling. There's nothing Latin about this other than when you bite into that dumpling and you taste the recao, which it belongs to the cilantro family, and you taste that sort of very Latin pork flavor and the sweet plantains, and then you say to yourself, "Oh my God, this is a Latin dish,"
Right.
and it's not.
That's what Rose. So what Rose was saying. Rose is Mexican, and I keep giving Rose kudos because really she helped me go. Okay, we've just got to do this. We've got to set it up. She said, yes, you think you're eating Asian, right? And then you bite into it and you're enjoying something that's very Latin. So was it hard then? So the menu wasn't hard. The food, it wasn't hard to combine. What about finding the drinks? because that's what my liver always likes to talk about. How about finding the drinks to complement the way and the Latin fusion?
Well, again, I think, like you mentioned, the mixology has become such a just a mover, with things. Like everyone wants the hot new mixology bar. You got to open a restaurant. You got to have a cocktail, program. They call it now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You're just like, well, okay, a cocktail program.
We're demanding in Orlando, apparently.
And that's a great thing because that's what will drive the business of great restaurants forward. That there are indeed demanding diners, and this is what makes me most excited about being in Orlando. And I could go on and on about my life. I could go on and on about the wonderful years I spent in Puerto Rico and the 12 restaurants we opened over the years and different concepts. And I could go on and on about even being on Iron Chef, which was so exciting. What makes me most excited today is that I'm in a city that we're just now starting to understand. We're just now starting to feed more and more people are talking about what we do. That, to me, is what's just most exciting.
Well, and the word of Orlando's big on word of mouth, right? There are some publications in town that definitely do a great job of announcing new restaurants, but that doesn't necessarily drive someone to a new restaurant or drive someone to a place that has a great cocktail menu. And so these restaurants, it's so important for you to get the buzz out there. Well, if the buzz is bad, Orlando will kill you in about 3 seconds. But if the buzz is good, which it is for El Buda, then people are really going, okay, what is this all about? What does El Buda mean? Why would I come here? And here is the famous Rose right behind us. We're live, Rose. This is the Rose that was here with Orlando. You can come say hi.
Hola.
Say hi. Hola. This is Chef Treviño.
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 ¿Qué tal?
Hello, beautiful. All right. Say hi. Mwah. Hi, baby. Mwah. So Rose was mostly the inspiration for pushing forward. I just thought this is so unique and so wonderful. And Rose, of course, being Latina, she wasn't gonna say anything good if it wasn't really good, right? So she's not gonna BS or tell me, oh my God. And Orlando, who was with her, really, and the story is he didn't want to come. He's like, what is this place? Why? How are you going to combine Latin and Asian? Right? Because that's probably what people out there are thinking. How does that even work? But Rose and Orlando both said it was absolutely amazing. And it smells good. Look, Rose, we have the dumplings and the chicharrinos. I can't even say it.
Chicharrón de Portolomé.
There it is. There it goes. See, I'll do it with the Italian accent. All right, so tell us about the cocktails that we have in front of us.
All right, well, this is our White Walker. This is sort of a play on pop television, obviously.
It's a Game of Thrones. Am I allowed to say that?
I don't even
it's
know.
A Game of Thrones
That's why
reference.
I didn't.
I can, though. It's my show, sue me. A White Walker is based on a character or a group from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and it's really kind of a funky mojito with a little bit of Malibu, and
Because mojitos, I find, most places don't know how to make them at all. They say they know how to make them, and it's always disappointing, and I always have to. Oh my God! Look, we have more.
Victor's king
Hi,
of
Victor.
the bar program.
Victor,
How you doing?
The bar program. What's that, Victor?
This is one of our best sellers. It's our guava gimlet. You can
Guava
make it with gin
gimlet.
or vodka. And then that's just a classic rum runner over there.
Look at how pretty. Oh, look, and it has the Asian, it has the umbrella, right?
It makes you want to dance.
It makes you, right? You want to dance. So mojitos, though, I either love them or hate them. There's no middle. So last night, Kate made us that, and it was delicious, absolutely fantastic. But it can be really bad. And do you make? You mentioned caipirinhas. That's where you muddle. That's a Brazilian drink,
it's
right?
a Brazilian drink. You muddle the limes and the sugar. You hit it with cachaça, right?
Yeah.
Cachaca.
Yeah.
Ba-bum.
There you go.
Like chaka. That's the whole secret to a good drink. Is you got to throw in
It
some
really
dip.
is. We guys put a lot of love into that.
Absolutely.
And then what do I have here? I've got something in front of me that I haven't tasted yet. But
That
I'm
is
going to.
a dirty, classic, not so classic mudslide martini. All right. And
I like that it's dirty. We
Yeah,
all
it's
know
gotta
that.
be dirty. If it's not, hey.
Cheers, my friend.
Salud.
Salud.
Seguro que sí.
Yes, what you said.
It's a great city. I love Church Street as well. I think the history that Church Street has, all this history, I mean, this building, particularly, some of it's newer,
right?
But this building we're in right now, there's Hamburger Mary's, which is the original Bumby hardware store, and this building, this was the warehouse for the Bumby hardware store.
When you walk in here, I know these from growing up here. There are bathrooms back there, right? And those bathrooms still are the same Church Street bathrooms that they have been since the 70s. It's you can still see some of the ornate stuff that Church Street had down here in there.
Beautiful.
My daughter had her wedding, what's the thing before? Rehearsal dinner at Ceviche upstairs. And that has that's what I love about downtown. So what do you want people to know? I want to try the drink. So this is delicious. This is the dirty mudslide, right?
The gimlet is, I think, something that I was excited about. I came up with it, and I know the bartenders will kill me for saying this, but I did. And it was nothing to do with the recipe. It had everything to do with wanting to do a gin gimlet. And how are we going to bring a classic drink like that into a funky sort of tropical setting? Guava.
Guava. This is what you were talking about.
Yes.
Yes, so Rose talked about guava for about an hour.
Oh,
I'm exaggerating.
Yes. It's a guava drink. Guava something amazing.
And there you go.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Right?
And guava, a lot of people don't understand. My mother-in-law grew up in Miami, right? So guava was part of her growing up because culturally, guava tends to be more Hispanic, more Latino. And so, oh my God, that's delicious, guys. I don't taste any gin.
Is it slushy?
It's not, well, I don't know, it is a little slushy.
Looks like it could have been.
I love the glasses too, right? So I think that is part of it. I don't want to be served in a ugly glass. Isn't that part of the whole craft cocktail scene here? So you can hear everybody, you can tell it's Latin. Everybody's starting to get loud. We're all going to get rolling. I love it in there.
No, definitely.
This is delicious.
You know what's funny? I had someone say to me one time that they were here and they said to me, "Oh, I was just in Miami. I didn't speak the language." I laughed at that. I thought that was so funny, because you think about Miami, it's got a huge Latin American population, and it's just like that someone would say, "I was in Miami. I didn't speak the language." I loved it.
Eric Rawlings must love you. Do you know Eric? Eric Rawlings is running for office, but he's currently he does a lot of stuff where he's protecting the environment. So you have paper straws that we're drinking out of.
Yep.
That's a choice, right?
It's a choice.
It's a big choice. Oh my God, that's delicious. What is this again?
That is a rum runner. Once again, I think,
Oh my God, that's so good.
There's so many drinks that have been, I think, in the whole mixology sort of idea have been overplayed. A lot of them. And I'm not going to point none of them out because everyone has their favorite.
Right.
But I think there's something to be said about the classics. A gimlet, a rum runner.
But the presentation too. So that's the other thing. If you guys, I know you can see it, but the presentation's beautiful. The glasses are kind of old school glasses. They're not the new wave stuff. You've got the cool umbrella in here, but that drink they're all delicious actually. What's your favorite food to make?
Wow. I mean, here at the restaurant?
Yeah, here at the restaurant and then for you at home.
Well, I love to make our ho fun noodles, all right? They're like these fat rice noodles that we cook, we make them perfect, we season them perfectly, and we serve them with just a piece of seared churrasco steak. And we slice that and put it on top, and it's just such a simple dish. It's such an exciting dish, And when the guests taste that meat and they get that noodle and they understand that noodle is meant to be sort of chewy,
right.
That's when they go wow, this is not pasta. This is not spaghetti. Right. This is something else.
I love it. Your passion is contagious, obviously, for food. Otherwise, you wouldn't be where you're at this point. What about your favorite thing to make at home?
I like to eat very simple. I like to eat white rice with a fried egg on top. Now, if I'm lucky and I got a little bit of truffle or some truffle salt or truffle oil, put it right on top. And then I'm eating classy.
And then how about drinks? What's your favorite drink?
My favorite drink are shots of tequila.
Oh my God.
But I also love...
Meet your best friend right over here, Rose Kemp.
Shots of tequila, but I also love Don Q Cristal and Coke.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That to me is just like the best rum with the best soft drink,
Right,
you know?
right.
Bring that together and, you know, you get a good buzz.
So what can people expect when they come in before we, I don't even know what time we're at because I'm having so much fun. All right, yeah, we're almost at time. What can people expect when they come in? What should they look for? What should they try first to kind of get, are the things that you think, all right, this is definitely a part of the dumplings for sure. I can't wait to put a herd
I don't think that there's a person that doesn't come into this restaurant and order those dumplings. It is unbelievable. I've had people come in, party of 6, and say, we want 6 dumplings to start. Everyone wants their own plate of dumplings. And you see them like, really? Wow. I mean, wonderful, right? So the dumplings are there, the churrasco steak. I think that our ropa vieja is so classic. That
Tell us again what that means.
well, ropa vieja is just classic Cuban shredded meat, seasoned, stewed, olives, onions, peppers, you know, all the good stuff. But we serve it with like all the fixings of a bimbap, you know, the Korean version with it. We make our own kimchi. We serve it with some seared kale.
See, that's amazing.
Black beans, seasoned rice, and then the ropa vieja. And we serve it a caballo. What does a caballo mean? Fried egg on top. Killer.
Nice.
You know?
Don't you love his passion? Come on, you can't. This is, and obviously, and the other thing I want to say before we start to close out is that your staff are incredibly wonderful and trained. And last night we were experimenting, and Kate was here. I'm not sure if you were here. You were not here. Okay, so Kate was here, and she was like, well, you should try this. And they were so, not just friendly, but knowledgeable. And sometimes what happens is you come in and not everybody knows how to make all the drinks, right? And that can be a problem because it's going to be different each time.
Right.
And you all are consistent. Everything's consistent. We had a couple of the White Walkers, delicious and the same across the board each time it was made. So, any parting words of wisdom for them? Anything you want them to know? I mean, this is exciting. First of all, just let me tell you, having an Iron Chef on in Orlando and on the show is actually a big deal. It's a big deal for Orlando, and he's very very, very humble. But I want you to know that means a lot. So when you're coming to the restaurant, think about what you're getting and think about the quality that you're getting, and you can see his passion and his love for food and for taking care of people. It's palpable on camera, so thank you. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show. Anything you want to leave them with, any parting words of wisdom about food or alcohol, and don't think that these drinks are going to be here once we go out because we're drinking all of them. Anything you want to share with them?
I just want to, I almost wanted to say thank you to Orlando for giving us a great base to come in, to build this restaurant, to build this culinary culture, this service culture that we've slowly built. Mind you, we've been here since December. It's a very short time. And it's been an uphill battle to try to get everyone to truly understand the importance of service, the importance of serving our guests when they choose us, when we give them a great plate of food, when we give them a great night of service. It all is the key to the success. And I just want to thank, Orlando for taking a risk coming behind Hamburger Mary's here, down the alleyway into our almost speakeasy-like restaurant.
It's very speakeasy.
And not to mention our speakeasy basement, which is amazing,
right.
And
I forgot about
the place is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's you have to visit because you have to come and discover all these little corners, discover the different personalities that are going to be serving you, and obviously have some great food. I mean, and I say obviously because I got to.
My mouth is watering. All right. Thanks, Chef, for being
My
on.
pleasure.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks, Rick, for setting it up. Thanks for shooting it for us. We love you guys. Obviously, I can't comment on anything, but I will later. And I'm going to dig into the food in a minute, and I'm going to drink. And bon appetit. And you know what? I'll have another. That's what's going to happen right now. Love you guys. See you until tomorrow.
Salud.